Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folare. The minor reshufflement, is that what to call it? A minor reshufflement in President Buhari's Committee of Ministers, Council of Ministers. I guess we'll talk about that a bit today. It's the first time it's happened, 6 years in or so. And I have as my guest this morning, Honorable Ipola Omishore, former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you very much for coming on. And Dr. Onyekachi Ubani. In fact, if I were going to do it properly, Dr. Monday Onyekachi Ubani, Chairman MBA Spittle. And that goes, he couldn't be a lawyer if he wasn't, there's no way he could be that if he wasn't in. Now, maybe let me start with you, okay, Onyekachi. Your impressions, because actually there was something that I noticed in the statement that was released by Mr. Adesina, Femi Adesina, on behalf of the president. He spoke about the desire of the Buhari administration to look at performance, look at areas of weakness, strengthen that and all of that, and as reasons for this event. And then in the very last one, I think he was saying also that the president had, however, spoken to the ministers, thanked them for the contributions to the council, and the invaluable, and that's the word I want to, the invaluable service. I was a bit, confused. So what do you think?
Yeah, you shouldn't be confused. Naturally, when somebody has given up some of his personal desires in order to serve the country, for up to 2 solid years, it's a personal sacrifice. Okay. So it would be very ungrateful for the president. So that is where invaluable might come in. So that, to appreciate. And then, of course, you have to sound diplomatic too in appreciating them. Even if in the analysis you did, you may have discovered some level of weaknesses in their performance. But you can't say that, when you are thanking those who have actually personally sacrificed themselves to serve the country. But I think that the reason, and we must be correct about it, is we look at the statement that was issued by his advisor. He said they have engaged in what we call independent and critical self-analysis of performance. Very key. We have engaged in independent and also at the same time critical self-review of performance, and so they have discovered a weak link within the chain of performance, and they have to now remove those weak links. Maybe 2 of them for now, in order to strengthen. Because it's a continuous exercise. It's a continuous. That's what he said. In order to strengthen governance, because as they now engage in the final lap of their race, it is important you correct cross all the T's and dot all the I's in order to ensure that you deliver. As President said, he doesn't want to be a failure. Exactly. So he said.
Exactly. And since the President said that, I keep on pointing out that he said that in relation to the security challenge. But, he said it, and so he said it. People have also read that. They can even generalize it to the entire scope of his presidency, as Dr. Bani has just done. So, Honorable, your take on this whole issue, especially what would be, do we need to say no more about that from what Onyekachi has already said about the contradiction between removing weak links, and then also thanking for invaluable contributions? Like
Doctor said, for every servant, there's a deserve for appreciation. If you serve Nigeria, it's not an easy task. Leaving your home, leaving your office, leaving your everything to serve the country. So naturally, they deserve a thank you from all Nigerians, not even the president alone. I see. But asking them to go is a good step, a bold step from the president. I want to say it is too late, it is too little. The first 4 years...
Too little, too late.
Yes, the first 4 years, we Nigerians even suspected weak links. But, you carry them for 4 years, and the governance is like a football team. A coach that does not know when to replace weak players can never win any trophy. So I think the president is desirous of making a success of his second term by making sure that if you don't fit in, you get out. It's every team, every coach can change at halftime, and it's 2 years, it's an halftime, and we just pray that the rest of the players the ministers and the advisors do so well that the president can go with thank you from Nigerians.
Which will be the wish of any public servant.
That's right.
Who puts himself forward to serve. Honorable said too little too late. That suggests to me that from inception, when he started observing the ministers, if you remember, the ministers came a bit late because the president was taking his time, and when people were complaining that it's getting on a bit, I think his spokesman had said that, well, that's his way. He's going to be thorough about this. He's going to be this and he's going to be that. When Honorable Omishere said, for him, too little, too late, I wonder if you see it differently. And does that mean that in the past 6 years, you have actually seen, if you were the president, some others that you might also want to replace? That is, if you accept that it's too little, too late.
I like his analysis, bringing, using football, to analyze actually performance. Most times you discover after a match that is clearly woeful, the next person that will go, or the first person to go, is usually the coach. Not even the players. If the players just conspire and go and play rubbish in the field, most times it's not those players that are sanctioned. It is actually the coach. So the president, he is the coach of this particular game. And from beginning, as rightly pointed out, the president does not have this particular desire to change any of his players. He doesn't have, it's not part of his character. He started late, in terms of appointment. He also, when it comes to issue of, oh, look, people are complaining about this minister in not delivering. Can you replace him and rejig your team? The president have this penchant not to. Maybe he doesn't want to offend them. And he usually have personal relationship maybe with some of his aides. So he feels that they will be troubled. They will be probably, scandalized, in removal. So he doesn't have that penchant for that. But so that's why this one is really coming to many persons as, a bit shocking. Can the president really ask people to go? Because what they were even saying, maybe he wants to reshuffle, maybe change them. But this is the first time the president is so bold to say these guys will leave my cabinet. And these are two, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, under his administration, where two people had to leave. But then, is it really a reflection of the kind of perception of Nigerians on the entire team? These two that have been removed, has the president done the needful? Are there no more ministers within
complete job?
Beautiful.
Has it done
because
a complete
job? Because I understand that the president was in London, and some of the ministers that will actually go were within contemplation and all that. So we had expected a very major. This is a minor reshufflement. Okay. It's not really major.
Okay. Honorable, of course, the ministers that we're talking about, Sabo Nanon and Saleh Maman. And they have been replaced from within, so to speak. No minister has been brought more. The Minister of Environment, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, he will be going to Agriculture, and the Minister of State Housing will be going to, the minister will now become the Minister of Power, especially in the power sector. It's a crucial sector. And I have seen all sorts of commentaries and analyses that, well, Babatunde Raji Fashola's shoes, there might have been some sort of a challenge in filling those particularly large shoes, seeing as Fashola seemed to, have been a performer. I mean, that's just the general concept out there. That ministry, how come he was in place for as long? And there are people who are complaining that we're not moving apace with our aspirations in that place. Is it what Onyekachi has suggested, that the president seems to be loath to remove anybody?
I think it's in his character to slip over things. Even when Raji Fashola was there as a Trinity minister, holding 3 offices, 3 heavy loaded offices.
Yes.
Even as at that time,
he should have relieved, even calling him super minister. Super
minister. He should have relieved him of one. You see, if you notice Fashola, you will see all his hair is grey. So
that is an observation.
Overshadowed.
It's like Obama's became grey.
I mean, that's America, heavy America. But 3 ministries for one person is like carrying America. So on a serious note, the president, lost one thing, getting technocrats to serve in key critical positions. You don't have to be a politician to help Nigeria. So I think, if he wants to even get it right the last 2 years, he must start to think and look at technocrats. I'm a politician. Where I know a politician will not serve me, will not allow me to deliver, I will never put a politician there. Technocrats, very, very important. Power, till today, power is a problem to Nigeria, next to security. Yeah. And the president cannot say he has scored 30%. So if it is so, and he's doing it in the last 2 years, he must bring a magician.
Well, yeah,
and that magician must be a technocrat, not this cabinet. I look at that cabinet, bring anybody there, we create a failure for him. He must look outside his immediate environment. Technocrats are there. He must get results. 2 things that will judge his performance after office: power and security.
Indeed.
So we have learned to sleep on roads and manage roads, but power and the security is an aspect. And he should not even look inside that cabinet to do it. He should look for a technocrat outside there to help him.
Interesting. I've heard commentary, especially in the case of the Minister of Power, Salim Maman, former Minister of Power, Salim Maman. I think the allegation in his sector, operators in his sector, is that his impact wasn't felt at all. Such is the allegations. We can't evaluate them, but that's what people in that sector seem to be saying. And Honorable is saying that what you need to do is to have technocrats. Now, I wanted to bring as to why the president might have held on to any particular minister that long. As it happens on YouTube, where sometimes you just find something thrown into your recommendation. Now, it goes back, something that was thrown into my recommended list was President Obasanjo at the Justice Okuta panel inquiry. He was serving president then. And I think the point was made about when Falana was interviewing him, the issue came up about whether Mr. President at the time had indeed appointed a particular minister. And he had said yes, and had explained that, if I appointed him, it's because he was recommended to me. How many people am I really going to know? So, it was something of a belligerent interchange. Yes. Don't tell me about that. He was recommended to me, and I did put him there. His performance is another level. So this whole matter about how presidents, that gave us an insight into how some presidents at least go about the job of selecting people. Is it too much to expect that the president should have a one-on-one knowledge of the people he's going to actually put in place?
No, it doesn't. We operate within our own little ways, and we have had people we have used to perform one role or the other for us. I was a chairman of a planning committee of a conference that took place recently. I cannot say that all the people that spoke were known to me personally, but there are those who also help and say, oh, this person is an expert on this field, and it's very good. And also, I'll do a little bit of profiling and say, okay, let me even know about this individual, and I'll find out that, oh, it's really true that this person is well known. Okay. And sometimes he may even have forgotten that this person is a specialist in that aspect, and somebody says this name, and then, oh yes, I remember, he is good in this. So you can't know everyone, but you as a leader must have an objective. What do I want this person to achieve in this ministry?
And you probably test him for his ability to deliver.
And then do a what you call review, critical, sector, review, and say, is this person meeting up my objective? I know the reason why I'm putting this particular minister in this ministry, and I'm giving him this deadline in order to show performance. If he does not show, you will remove that person. Just like he said, it's a football game where the coach, will examine all his, team players and see how they are performing in their various posts they have been put. If they are not doing well, you have replacement. You replace that individual. You must always have a reserve. So the country is so big, 200 million Nigerians, with so many intellectual, educated men and women. And then sometimes we have people who are clearly incompetent running ministries, and you allow them to remain there. And people are not getting the feel. So this ministry you talk about, power, sir. I don't think from 1999 to date we have had any reform, in that sector that have actually been highly beneficial to the people. As I speak to you today, I still use generator throughout in my office. In Ikeja, sir, in the heart of Nigeria, Ikeja.
The business.
Yes,
district.
Off Awolowo way. Every day I go to work is either I use diesel or I use fuel, petroleum to run my diesel. Why is it like that? The same thing all over. Coming about even roads, sir. A contract of over 13 billion was awarded Ekote Beneikuano Road in 2019. As I speak to you now, nobody can pass through that road. 13 billion naira by Fashola awarded that contract to 2 companies that have gone to investigate. They have no competence to do that thing. And up to now, nothing is happening in that road. Ekote Beneikuano Road, 2019, 13 billion. Really? As I speak to you, sir, I want to do a publication in National Newspaper by next week. I want to raise it to the presidency. I want to raise alarm because I've always said it. They were awarded a contract on Ikote Beneikuano Road. For many years, every government will do it. Nothing will happen.
And in your estimation,
yes,
these people can't even deliver.
They can't deliver because they don't have the capacity. It's a family business. I have looked at them. It's either wife or children who are directors of those 2 companies.
Oh dear. Did you want to comment on that? Because it just happens that the minister of the former minister of power might indeed be listening to that. We might be listening.
You see, we all of us are government. We the people, like he's observing now, if he keeps quiet, that contract will just go the way it used to go. I think, what is happening is that the president should do quarterly review. In a situation whereby you need a consultancy to tell you about your government, it shows that, something is happening. All these political ministers, they don't perform, let them go. Too late, in fact, I expect him to sack more.
Well, they did say it was an ongoing exercise.
If it's ongoing, and I'm telling you by next year election, we take most of the time. So this government has only 1 year to work critically.
That's true.
So and I reckon that it should not. We want to hear more news next week.
Well, from your analogy of the football team and the coach, you say when the team messes up, usually the coach is the first to go. Well, and then you had likened the president to the coach. Now, in our situation, the president can't go. But the blame, you seem to be saying, never mind the ministers, the blame has to be squarely on the president's table.
In fact, when the president is saying is reviewing or rejigging, it's an acceptance of failure on his part. You are the team captain, you are the coach. If you are the coach and your team is not doing well, you are changing too late. If you change, like those changes.
I don't like the failure aspect. Maybe in that particular aspect, on that particular job.
Particular aspect.
When I
talk about, I single out 2 areas.
He has now come and confirmed to us that
he has noticed.
I made the wrong choice. Otherwise, he wouldn't change it.
No, that he's noticing too late.
Okay. 2
sectors. Power and agric. And don't forget, one of the good cards that this government is playing is agriculture.
Agriculture, exactly.
It's one of the areas this government has achieved. And if you put somebody a square peg in the round hole of agriculture, you can see that for the last 2 years we didn't hear anything again about agric. The president cannot show the card that look at, but 4 years ago, 3 years, 5 years ago, it was making noise and was achieving in the agric. But today, all of a sudden it went silent. So it's good for president to notice a problem, and we pray whoever is coming there, we move fast and cover for the lost time.
Well, I think we have an idea, right? Is it not the Minister of Agriculture is now going to be replaced by the current Minister of Environment?
Environment, yes, Environment.
Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar.
What is his background?
Exactly. What did he do in environment? Environment is a very big ministry.
At times you need to look at. I don't know why. Look, that's why I give that credit to Obasanjo. When he needs somebody from outside, he will go for it. All these cabinets, if a man is for environment and he also of a sudden is good for agric, then it's job for the boys.
And then the Minister of State Housing will be going to the Minister of Power.
All of a sudden.
He's an engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, he may have worked with Fashola all this while.
Yes.
Because you know that at that time that
They were
ministry
together,
was together
yes,
and all that.
yes.
But I don't know his antecedent. I don't know what the president
Well,
wants. Because there must be an objective.
in the same way we didn't know the first time around.
Yes, yes.
Maybe you are saying that we don't even know this time around.
What is the objective of the presidency with regards to power? Because he has less than a year, as this man, our guy has rightly pointed out, to go.
Yes.
What is the objective? What is the sectoral reform you want to carry out?
And is there time?
Is there time for this man to fulfill?
Good morning, Mr. George. Hello. Yes, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
So, sorry, the president, they all agree that he does not need to know all the appointees.
Personally.
At the time he's appointing them. But he can accept them as they are working with him. There are many ministers, I have mentioned it before, that the president at his cabinet program is anti-corruption. None of his ministers, to the best of my knowledge, has ever projected that policy in their activities. And then there are some ministers who are in wrong ministries. For example, Mr. Keyamo is not for that ministry. He should have either been in the
Keyamo in labor.
Yes. To me, it's a mistake in that case. He should have either been in the Ministry of Justice or in the Ministry of Information, judging from what we know about his abilities. There are so many things that will happen that ministers do. If I were president, I said it before, look at the Minister of Labor. For how long has the president been in power now? And also has continuously been on strike. Look at the way the Minister of Labor is handling doctors. It's enough to show the president that this minister cannot give me what I want.
Yeah.
But they are there, and there are several of them too, that there are some we don't even know. I cannot remember when last I heard a statement from the Minister of Education.
Well, from what you are saying, Mr. George, I got to let go of you, but from what you are saying, you give me the impression that as far as you are concerned, you welcome very much the statement that it's a continuous exercise.
Yes,
because you expect.
But he has come rather late on it.
Okay, and you expect more changes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Well, it's these are very pertinent issues that you are raising.
Yes.
What exactly is the objective? Mr. President would have formed that objective, or he might, in conjunction with the minister, have come up with a plan, and then be able to check it off. Perhaps that wasn't done.
Yeah, anytime you are hiring somebody, even in private companies, sir, you have a reason for hiring that individual. You have a central objective. So you now have a basis for assessment. Because if you don't have basis for assessment, you cannot in any way be able to review properly and take a positive.
So you have to have set the objective
yes,
up front.
What is the objective? Okay, for power sector, what is the objective of the federal government with regards to sectoral reforms? What do they want to carry out, and have they been able to fulfill it within the timeline given? So you can now use that basis now to assess the person you have appointed there. That is the way, you must run government as if you are running a private company. It's a profit-making business you are running. Anyone, and that's why again in the 2023, sir, may we never have any president that have never shown evidence of success in private sector. Who have not paid workers, who have not paid salaries, who don't even know what to use as resources in order to make profit in a business, sir. We shouldn't. Never again should we make that mistake.
Okay. Mohammed in Abuja, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
Your guest.
Indeed.
Good morning.
A very long time I've not connected to your program.
Oh, we're delighted you did so today.
Thank you very much. In fact, I'm enjoying this topic.
Okay.
I think maybe I will start by saying that politics is a game in which any decision you take is the wrong decision, and the right decision is the one you never took. Actually, when you appoint ministers, they are supposed to call, you must give them time. There is short-term decision that they will take, that will start manifesting. Time they take decision, and when it will start manifesting, it takes time. So if these two ministers, the minister is changing them, the president is changing them, now if you ask me my opinion, this is just the right time, because from 2019 to 2021 that we do now is just the appropriate time to have measured all their decisions they've taken and what is the outcome of those their decisions. Let me give an example today. How do you go? Sincerely speaking, I'm from Kebbi State. We were having fertilizer for farming, but today the fertilizers that are available are very costly. So this is our own measure when it comes to farming. So what the president is doing now, this is just the right time. If more ministers will come, I think 2 years is just to start changing. But not after 1 year you change ministers, my opinion. Thank you very much, sir.
All right then, thank you very much. Okay, clearly the president doesn't have very much patience with that line of thinking now, because he is saying that, well, you have to expect that the minister has to get up to speed, so to speak, as if a plane was taking off.
He's been in power for 6 years, not 2 years. As if the man
that's the president.
No, yeah, the president came into power by in 2015, and so this is 2020.
Yeah, but he was talking about the ministers.
Yeah,
maybe they should have.
It's a continuous thing, sir, for the ministry. You have an objective when you came in. Within 8 years, this is what I want to achieve. Now, if 6 years you don't know what you want to achieve within a particular sector, then there's a problem.
Okay, I've got to go on a break now. Let me just go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please, and we'll continue to take your calls. Okay, welcome back. And if you just joined us, you're welcome. And we're looking at the president's decision to reshuffle his cabinet. It's been called a minor sort of reshuffle because two ministers were dropped, and then two further ministers from within were sort of reassigned. So we're now going to have Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar in agriculture, and the Minister of State in the former triple, you called it a Trinity ministry back in the day. He's going on to power. The last caller had said that he feels, well, this is not the best, meaning that they have to gather speed, ministers, people like that. And for the president to have done this now, you heard his analysis. Perhaps it wasn't for the best, but we're not getting the goods. Is the bottom line that the president seems to have indicated.
I mean, he's looking at it in a myopic way. We are looking at presidency, the government. We are not looking at that minister.
Okay.
The team working with the minister, they are working with the president. They are working with him for 8 years. You can spend 4 years, you can spend 2 years, you can spend 3 years. If you give me results in 1 year, you are a good minister. You cannot give me results in 1 year, you are not worthy to be in the cabinet.
Wait a minute. How many ministers have given us results in 1 year?
What I'm telling you that...
No, I'm just saying, from the point of view of, probably there's more work to be done in that regard.
You see, it's a continuous process.
Okay.
In 1 year, you will show you the feelings that you are going to achieve.
We will have some indications.
I mean, for 1 year, those ministers have not shown anything. They are sacking, they are stabbed, their best hands are being lost, and nothing. You know, power sector is a serious sector. When you start, the staff there must be very happy. Even when they were happy, they were not giving results. That particular minister was at loggerhead with everybody in that ministry. So, people, it's like football match. Coaches that fight with their players don't get results.
Yeah.
So, a man who cannot manage resources is quickly a man that should go long ago.
And the power ministry is tremendously important. Right now, we're even thinking that we want to come and talk about it. Rates are likely to be increased.
Has it not been increased?
Has it been increased?
It's a land. It has been increased.
It has been increased on paper. Very soon, they will not even tell when it starts.
So you need a very, very sure pair of hands.
You need people that are happy on the job. Indeed. To do the job, to justify the new rates.
Benga in Abuja, thank you very much for holding on. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you.
Good morning to the guests there.
Good morning.
I agree with the guests on white attire there.
Okay.
Minister in Nigeria.
Are you talking about Dr. Ubani?
No, not Ubani.
Okay. Honorable Omeshore.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. No minister can give you good results within 1 year in our system, because the government will come in by May 29. Let's say you appoint minister the second day. Those ministers have to work on the budget they prepare before they come in, and they cannot do anything of their own as for bureaucracy and budgetary until the following year. And the following year, you have not to prepare his own budget. It is after 1.5 years you can really know if a minister perform or not.
Okay, granted. No, never mind 12 months, 18 months. You are saying that
18 months, sorry.
Yes, yes. No, you were correct actually. So I'm saying that according to your analysis is that, you know, because that's where you came to, Honorable Omishore, that you can't get anything in 1 year. Maybe 18 months. And maybe even better still, 2 years.
Minimum. Yes, 2 years. And that's what the president has done. Because if you look at it, I really pity the Prime Minister of Agri. It's very unfortunate and unlucky because when he tell me in 2019 in August, he could not do anything. 2020, coronavirus came in, we were locked down for many things. Farmers do not go to the farm. And banditry also has prevented agricultural produce or any farming to do anything. You know, many things are not mechanized. 80% of our food and farm produce are peasant farmers who are doing it for us. So I did say it's very unlocked. Maybe have other things, the indexes on which they start changing. I'm very, very unlucky.
Okay.
The Minister of Power is justified. There's another minister that we need to look at, the Minister of FCT. I'm in Abuja. Yes. Up till now, budget of this year are not been implemented.
So you would put the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory on your list?
Ask anybody in FCT. Okay. This year's budget is not yet implemented. I have 3 more 4 months to give this for the year to end.
Okay. All right.
What are we to?
Thank you very much for calling in, Benga.
So every Nigerian will have a nominee to go.
That's the point. That's the point.
Dr. Bani, yes. He says he feels that Sabon Nanong was particularly unlucky.
See, that is what we call sectoral review, because there are other ministers that also were in the same cabinet with him, and when they did this peer review, they also take into cognizance some of those factors. He mentioned the COVID-19 and all that, and those ministers also under that condition also excelled, which actually probably have made them now to remain in the office. But when you now put them, this man's own under weight, his own was paperless. So what I'm trying to say, sir, let us not make excuses because of this. And the point is that the morning determines the day. A minister that knows his onions when to come, even when the budget is not there, he has already set the parameter in place, so that when the budget is there, you now begin to show evidence of work. So you don't begin to give excuses that there was no budget and all that, because other ministers were also assessed.
Oh, you're referring to his comments on the Minister of the Federal Capital?
No, the one of agriculture he was trying to exculpate.
Well, also explain that coronavirus hit us and that dampened things. Terrorism is also in the mix.
Hit every minister, sir. What we're saying is that every minister operated under the same condition, that was coronavirus. But we also at least set a pace, a structure in place. This is what I'm going to achieve within my ministry. You see, why we're having problems, sir, is the issue of having objective. What is my objective when I come into a ministry?
Target.
What do I want to do within these 4 years that I know I'm setting off it because he has been elected? If you don't set that parameter, sir, you will not be able to assess yourself properly.
Of course, I'd like to hear what Honorable has to say about it. But let me go first to Mazi Okorafor. Good morning, Mazi.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Dr. Bani. Good morning, Honorable Ministry.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
You see, when we talk about performing, one thing is to get a certificate, another thing is to perform. Certificate is very, very important, and your background, where you are coming from. When you were in private sector, how were you performing? Yes. Like one of the guests already said, when you enter the office as a minister, you are there for business. What is that business? Government works there in the ministerial job is not a business, but you have to achieve the state goals and objectives. When you cannot achieve them, you are a failure. And when you are a failure, it affects the system. So look, let us look for competent hands and brilliance. Like American people, as you know, the one of American president, the Secretary of State he brought, but his opponent, which after bringing the person to the system, his own government changed. He was very, very happy. So not to look at, because this one is my opponent, but he can perform. Bring him into the system. Actually, it's like saw the daddy. We not saw the daddy when he was reporting that as a news man in in both Hausa and Hausa, English, name them. At least communication, at least to me, where now agri is not a job that somebody is supposed to say. Fertilizer is what the people need. If you didn't get that to the last man, yes, we allowed the political agri people to take the system, then it's a failure. So what we need now, we need food. And in India also we need food. The person in agri must perform. The center applicable to power
You have seen what is happening in Lagos. So that power, no power, no all this saloon work. It's what. So these two people in this office very, very sensitive because they treat cardinal things we need in the country: health, education, and the security. When you cannot be the health, education, if you cannot perform those things, it's what agric also contributes to the economy. Now you are sitting there at least you are taking your breakfast. You do not plan agriculture. Because without that taking your breakfast, that system will not operate very well. And you will not perform there while you are doing that job. So that's why we need to, in our society, competent hands on make sure that food gets to our table. The agric man that is on board now, make sure that people get the food, not the question of coming there with stories. We are tired of
okay, Mazi.
Why is it like that now? Thank you very much. Have a pleasant day in Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Honorable Omishore, the issue of the need to have a round peg in a round hole and a square peg in a square hole. This matter of having round pegs in square holes or the other way around, I don't know. What might appear like common wisdom to everybody? For instance, the matter, somebody brought up Dr. Chris Ngige, who is a medical doctor, for instance. He might not be everybody's first choice for that particular job. But then there must be what the president knows to have said, Chris Ngige, you're a medical doctor, you are going to take care of labor for me. There is room for that kind of a thing, right? Because I guess where I'm going is I'm asking the question of, should a person really fit according to not just the president's perception, but also that of the public, so that you wouldn't expect a non-medical doctor, for instance, to head up the Ministry of Health?
See, certificates apart.
Okay.
Performance apart.
Okay.
You don't need to be a lawyer
to be able to be effective in the Ministry of Justice.
Let's
go there. You don't need to be a lawyer
I don't want to say Attorney General. You must be a lawyer to be an Attorney General. What I'm trying to say is that you don't need to be an engineer to man the Works Ministry.
Okay.
You see, what you need is...
But doesn't it help? Doesn't it help?
It's another advantage.
Okay.
You see, the records of performance is what the president should have asked for. I mean, when they were taking Fashola, they knew that Fashola, while in Lagos, did it so well in infrastructure. That is a track record. It is not necessarily that Ngige could have not performed. But what was his antecedent? Even as a doctor.
Who could not perform?
Ngige.
Who is saying
labor?
Who are saying? Are you saying he has not performed?
No. Somebody just called that is war there, unresolved labor issues, and that is true. There are some people who have some natural talents. They have performed somewhere else, and that man. If you remember the man that was in Makoju also in those days, the former MD of Ewekoro Cement.
Okay.
He was an engineer. He was brought into a power during Obasanjo, and things changed. Performance is also important. Track record is also important.
So the appointing officer has to have an eye on this aspect of what you're speaking about. Nicholas in Abuja, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone of you for bringing this particular topic on board.
Thank you.
I think it's very important that we get things straight. These ministers in question live with us here in this country. They knew what is wrong in any government before they come into power. So for you to now tell me that because you have a budget here, that's why you cannot perform within 1 year, it's a shame. Are you coming from the sky? You are with us here in this country at the back seat. Now you are in the front seat and tell me you don't know the road to get to the promised land. It is not fair.
Okay.
Number two, I want to talk about power precisely.
Go ahead. Yeah,
the power has failed him.
Well, this is communication. This is signal strength.
Okay.
So it's the Minister of Communication that will be watching this one. Okay, it was going to be his turn, but yes, because I wanted to bring the whole matter about distinctions are being made. It looks like everybody has their own parameters for how to do an effective appointment exercise.
Yes.
The last caller seemed to be saying that maybe there's a difference between knowing and then doing. Maybe not all people who are brainy are also good teachers, for example.
That's correct.
You know, so there are those aspects. So really, it's no slouch on the couch to be able to make an effective appointment.
So it's not
There will also be your gut feel.
beautiful. You know, there is in recruitment process, there are many things you put into consideration. There are experts when they want to recruit. I mean, any company want to. They don't bother themselves recruiting. They really, you know, assign it to these experts. They know what they're looking for.
Yes, and sir, you remember it was said at the time, I think it was Additional, the spokesman, about the president will be thorough and he prefers to appoint those he knows. Those he knows.
Yes. So if the president,
so we remember all of those kind of expressions.
We must hold him by his words. If those he has appointed are those people that he knows, and Nigerians now are not feeling the impact of that performance, it doesn't mean that he didn't know them too well. Or he has failed in his recruitment process, or the people that he recruited, you know, has failed him. So have failed him. So these are, you know, things we want to. So as I was saying, in recruitment, people usually assign it to those who are experts. They know what they are looking out for, and then set the objective. This is the person we want to bring in. You know, there's a particular recruitment that took place with one all these pharmaceutical companies recently. They were looking for an MD, and they zeroed it on one of our church members who has worked as MD in many companies, and a young man, he's less than 50 years, and he, you know, and within a short time he has turned, you know, back the balance sheet of the company. Okay. Within 1 quarter, yes. Okay. I mean, his name is Patrick Aja. Let me advertise him. And the young man has turned, you know, the company around. You know, I think it's Pfizer or one other company like that. But so I'm saying, the recruitment process is key. What are the criteria you want to use? What are you setting out for them as an objective? Maybe we have to change our recruitment process of this ministerial position we are given in this country. From 1999 to date, we have not had the best of all of, you know, them as a team to help Nigeria move forward.
I wonder if ministers that are appointed, it seems to me that they don't feel free, those among them, to say that Mr. President, I'm not sure I'm the best for this particular
Nobody talks
job.
When they're asked to, when they're eating on the table. That's what somebody when they're being called to come and eat.
Okay, you continue that idea. Let me quickly, because someone else came on the line. Who came on the line? Somebody from Yanapaja, I believe. Okay, I have lost the person. In any case,
yes. So
it was Dakwa from Yanapaja, but we lost him.
Okay, so the issue is very key for us as a nation. Let's now change the system. You know, maybe the next ministerial position we're going in 2023. Let's set out a standard. We can get people to really, you know, profile any person we want to appoint. Nigeria must begin to make profit as a nation.
Well, it's the prerogative of the president.
Must we continue
you
this
know,
way?
appointing these ministers is the prerogative of the president.
It's political,
and it is political.
But you can get the best. You can even get the best within the politicians, even in the class of politicians.
Within the political
sphere, who are ready to work for this country.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that.
I've said it before. Appointing ministers, ministers are usually appointed among politicians, but there are specific positions that technocrats, people from outside, should be picked. Any president that wants to pick everything within will fail.
But all these technocrats seem to be hampered by their lack of political experience or having a political base.
You see, I'm telling you, we have seen so many successful technocrats who are never politicians. All those women from, Ngozi.
Ngozi well.
Yes.
From World Bank, from all that. Yeah. I'm talking of those tested people from outside. Look at this power problem we are talking about. They are still good Nigerians. Recently, a Nigerian was controlling the whole of transportation system in the state of California. And he was doing it. He's a Nigerian in America and was managing for 3,000 staff. Those are the Nigerians we should be bringing
I remember that story.
To come and do it for us. So, you know, but why we just say it must be, I mean, look at power, look at even our trade. Our trading system is still weak. A lot of things are, you know, not correct and not right.
But for whatever, I don't know if it's like cold comfort. I guess Mr. President must be commended for biting the bullet, because for biting the bullet and doing this now, because it's conceivable that, you know, he could just have let it roll, but he said, enough is enough.
He's only fighting for his own score sheet too.
Yeah, his score sheet is very key. I won't commend the president for doing this.
I won't commend him.
Honestly, there are I would have expected a more comprehensive reshufflement. You know, this minor.
Without prejudice to the fact that
they say continuous.
They say more might be coming.
But what we're saying is that the president by now should be able to gauge, you know, his own performance from the feelings of Nigerians. You know, whether Nigerians have actually derived those dividends of democracy he promised in 2013, 2014.
So doctors, probably they have even submitted his own appraisal to
yes, of course.
Which has led to...
I'm sure he reads paper to also appreciate the fact that, look, this is what Nigerians are saying. His performance on the economy, his performance on issue of security, his performance on the issue of corruption, because there are promises he made to Nigerians when he was coming in 2015. Has he been able now to fulfill those performances? You know, let's not begin to probably dwell on what his special aides will say. I'm talking about what are the feelings of Nigeria. Has he been able to really, secure the lives of Nigeria? Has he been able also to turn the economy around to a robust economy? There are many African leaders who are turning the economy around. Ghana is picking up. Why is it that for how many years now Nigeria's economy is really going nosediving? Unemployment rate is increasing by the day. So there's something that's missing.
One second, please. Let me add Adekunle as our last caller. Adekunle is calling in from Sangwater. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Mr. Monday, I greet you, sir. Much respect.
Thank you, my own brother.
Honorable, well done, sir. You guys are doing a good job.
Okay.
Uncle Yori, you guys said, you elders says, anybody, when the head is sick, the whole body is already sick. My own personal option, whether they sack the two minister or not, even if the agriculture minister has performed, even if they had power, without security, everything is useless. In my own personal option, if I had the opportunity to speak to the president, the first person I would have sacked is the defense minister. Because without security, we have nowhere to go in this country. That is why the problem of agriculture, even if they give them fertilizer, 100 cartons, who can go to the farm now without food? So they should face the security first. The first person to go, my own option as a Nigerian, not the TVC. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Thank you very much. You sort of approved the statement that the Minister of Defense, he would have sacked him if it was up to him.
Even in current affairs, go to schools, ask who is the Minister of Defense. Nobody will know him. You see, that's a particular area. The National Orientation Agency. No Nigerian know what this government is doing. And they have an organ that's supposed to educate Nigerians.
And somebody's there.
If they have to
and there is somebody there.
And there's budget
there's somebody there. There's budget in the Orientation Agency. The government is not even sold to us. Nobody knows what the government is doing. The Minister of Agric, their failure is simple. Go to Ghana. In international trade, they are accepting Ghana produce than us. Our yams, when sent abroad, are rejected and returned to us. Our cassava, when sent abroad.
And that's a fact you are stating.
I'm telling you, it's a fact. They are returning it because it's not us.
They are returning some of our cultural
produce. Doesn't meet the standard.
It's affecting our, what we should have earned from agriculture. So the minister has failed in many aspects. We have talked about
that is the Minister of Agriculture.
Having silos in every local government, every state, where are the silos? So we know it. In fact, if Nigerians are asked to submit names, all of them will go.
Well, I want to thank you very much, gentlemen, for sort of giving us your insights into this national event, because it is also a truism. People call in that say, look, I still am backing the president, but I am exasperated. You find people saying, I still am backing the president, but I'm exasperated at some of the things or some that he does or doesn't do. So
on Niger Delta is making improvement. There's a forensic audit report that was submitted yesterday. So let's believe the president will punish those that he promised to punish within that report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monday Onyekachi Ubani, Chairman MBA Spittle, and Honorable Ikwola Omishore, a former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly and educationist. Thank you very much for coming on program, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
And so that's our program for the week. The next one is on Monday next week, by the grace of God. Remember, COVID-19 is still out there. Consider taking the vaccine, socially distance, wash hands, mask properly, and all the rest of it. Just do everything you can to be safe. I'll see you on Monday, God willing. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.